Hello living organisms of the earth, it's Nick here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. In this video, I'm going to finish the game. I'm not gonna record any more episodes. From here until the end will be in this video. So let's continue. Where we left off, stuff happened, and now we're here, and apparently stuff's already happened, but we'll... I don't know, let's go. Natsuki. I'm not the calmest I can possibly be because I'm worried about what's gonna happen soon, so yeah. This one's alright. Alright. Well, yeah, about as good as yesterday's anyway. I still can't really tell how much you actually care about writing, but either way you're doing alright. Even though you're not really spending time with anyone but Yuri. Good point. You can thank the random decisions, the random words I've clicked in the several poems I've done. I just clicked whichever word I felt like it in the last video. I still think it's nice to have activities that we all participate in, so you better keep working hard. I mean, I know I'm not president or vice president or anything, and these are new lines. But that doesn't mean you can't let me down, okay? So at least read mine too for now. But just to be clear, this poem means a lot to me, so read it carefully, okay? This is not a poem! Okay, and now I cannot use my poetic voice. I don't know how else to bring this up, but there's been something I've been worried about. Yuri has been acting kind of strange lately. I mean, okay, are you surprised at this point? You've only been here a few days, so you may not know what I mean. But she's not normally like this. She's always been quiet and polite and attentive. You know, things like that. Okay, this is really embarrassing, but I'm forcing myself to suck it up. The truth is, I'm really worried about her. But if I try talking to her, she'll just get mad at me again. I don't know what to do. I think you're the only person that she'll listen to. I don't know why. But please try to do something. Maybe you can convince her to talk to a therapist. I've always wanted to try being better friends with Yuri, and it really hurts me to see this happening. I know I'm going to hate myself later for admitting that, but right now I don't care. I just feel so helpless. So please see if you can do something to help. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I'll make you cupcakes if I have to. Just please try to do something. As for Monika, I don't know why, but she's been really dismissive about this. It's like she just wants us to ignore it. So I'm mad at her right now, and that's why I'm coming to you about this. Don't let her know I wrote this. Just pretend like I gave you a really good poem, okay? I'm counting on you. Thanks for reading. Monika's within this, isn't she? I changed my mind. Ignore everything you just read. There's no point in trying to do anything. It's Yuri's own fault that she's so unlikable. Can you hear me, Steve? If you would just spend more time with Monika, all these problems would go away. Yuri and I are too messed up for someone as wonderful as you. Just think of Monika from now on. Just Monika. Just Monika. Just Monika. Just Monika. Just Monika. Oh jeez. Yuri. Finally. Ha! Yuri holds my poem to her face and takes a deep breath. I love it. I love everything about it. Steve, I want to take this home. Will you let me keep it, please? Sure, I don't care. Ha! You're too nice to me, Steve. I've never met anyone as nice as you. I could die. Not really, but I just don't know how to describe it. It's okay to be feeling this way, right? It's not bad, right? Yuri holds my poem to her chest. Okay, take this home with me and keep it in my room. I hope that it makes you feel good when you think about me having it. I'll take good care of it. I'll even touch myself while reading it over and over. I mean, I didn't need to know that, but fuck, whatever. I'll give myself paper cuts so your skin oil enters my bloodstream. Okay, that's just... Okay. You can have my poem too. Besides, after you read it, I know you're really gonna wanna keep it. Here, take it, I can't wait any longer. Hurry, read it! Read it, darn it! I'm impatient and I have problems with myself! Hi! Do you like it? I wrote it for you! And you really tried! In case you couldn't tell, the poem is about... More importantly, I've endowed it with my scent. I've endowed it with my scent. Yeah, I see the blood everywhere. See, aren't I the most thoughtful person in the club? I think I'm going to vomit. Oh boy! I ended the previous video at the right time from the looks of it. And started this one at also the right time from the looks of it. This is actually getting good now. Well, it was also got good previously. But still. Don't say I didn't warn you, Steve. Come on. Like, which one am I supposed to pick now? Yes, I mean, sure. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Okay, I'm glad to. I'm okay. I don't regret saying yes now. This is a special. This is like a messed up special poem, isn't it? Okay, everyone. It's time to figure out the festival preparations. Let's hurry and get this over with. Jeez, why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why the mood is a little different. Stagnating air is common foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. Look, can we just get this done? I'm going to be printing and assembling all the poetry pamphlets. Actually, I was thinking, I want to make cupcakes. Okay, yeah, that. That we're on the same page. Yuri, you can... Well, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want as long as you think it'll help. Monika, I'm not useless, you know. I know that. I already know what I'd like to do. We can't run a successful poetry event without having the right atmosphere for the occasion. So we're gonna make decorations and set up some nice mood lighting. There, see? That's a great idea. That gives us all something to do. What about Steve? Steve is going to help me. Wait, you? You have the easiest job, Monika. Sorry, but that's just how it is. Oh, I wonder why. I'm going to help you. Like hell it is! What are you trying to pull? I agree with Natsuki. Not only is your work already most suitable for one person, but my task is laborious enough to benefit from an extra pair of hands. Mine too! What, your cupcakes? Please. Like you would f***ing know. All you care about is dragging Steve around with you and your stupid books. You and Monika! What does wait, Monika? Hey, I didn't even do anything. Okay, then why not let Steve decide who to help instead of abusing your power? I'm not abusing my power. Yes, you are, Monika. Just let Steve make the choice, okay? Okay, fine. Jeez. Steve, I know how fed up you are with these two by now. We can just... Natsuki, shut your f***ing mouth and let him decide for himself. You shut your mouth. Jesus Christ. This is never going to end. Just make the choice, okay? I picked Yuri. What? What?! I was not moving the mouse. She was bringing it to Monika's. Okay, there's Natsuki. Well, it doesn't seem like I have a choice here, do I? Darn it! Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If I pick one, then I pick one, and that goes for this Monika. Yeah, I wonder why I picked you! Fucking... I wonder why I picked you. It's probably because I picked... You dragged the cursor to your option, and then there was all the other options. No matter what option I pick, I end up with several Monikas. pick. I cannot not pick it. That's something. Yay, you picked me. We can meet at your house this weekend. Shut up. It's not my decision, is it? I promise it'll be fun. It's Sunday. Is Sunday okay with you? Are you f***ing kidding me? This isn't fair at all. It is fair, Natsuki. It's what he chose. It's what you made me choose. And what you made Steve choose. No, it's not fair. Giving us all this work and then taking Steve for yourself. What a shameful thing to do. Yoda didn't even give you any work. You decided it for yourself. You're being a little unreasonable here. Oh, I'm being unreasonable. Monika, I can't believe how delusional and self-important you are. Pulling Steve away from me every single time you're not included in something. Are you jealous? Crazy? Or maybe you just hate yourself so much that you take it out on others. Here's a suggestion. Have you considered killing yourself? It would be beneficial for your mental health. Yuri, you're scaring me a little. That's okay, let's just go. I don't think she wants us around right now. See, that wasn't very hard, was it? All I want is to spend a little time with him. Is that so much to ask? Nah, I'd rather not spend time with you. I've already done that. In video 3. Yuri follows Monika and Natsuki to the door. Hey Steve, Yuri is really something, isn't she? Monika giggles as Yuri pushes her out the door. Finally. This is really all I wanted. Steve, there's no need to spend the weekend with Monika. Don't listen to her. Just come to my house instead. The whole day, just the two of us. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Wow, there's really something wrong with me, isn't there? But you know what? I don't care anymore. I've never felt this good my whole life. Just being with you is a far greater pleasure than anything I could imagine. I'm addicted to you. It feels like I'm gonna die if I'm not breathing the same air as you. Does it feel nice to have someone care about you so much? To have someone who wants to resolve their entire life around you? But it feels so good. Then why does it feel more and more like something horrible is going to happen? Maybe that's why I tried stopping myself at first, but the feeling is too strong now. I don't care anymore, Steve. I have to tell you. I'm madly in love with you. I don't think Steve feels the same way. It feels like every inch of my body, every drop of blood in me is screaming your name. I don't care what the consequences are anymore. I don't care if Monika's listening. She probably is. Please, Steve, just know how much I love you. I love you so much that I even touch myself with the pen I stole from you. Yeah, you can keep that pen now. I just want to pull your skin open and crawl inside of you. I can't believe I'm reading this. I want you all to myself, and I will be only yours. Doesn't that sound perfect? Tell me, Steve. Tell me you want to be my lover. Do you accept my confession? She's unsettling me, and I would not want to stay with her for the rest of... And I would not want Steve or myself to stay with her for the rest of my life. I want to say no, honestly. No save button. Ah! What? This is actually freaking gruesome! Ah! Ah! Why am I so freaked out? I highly doubt it's because I said no. What? Wait, this is like the Steam description. Welcome to the literature club. It's always been a dream of mine to make something special out of things I love. This is the Steam description. Being repeated. Will you promise to spend the most time? Skip. What am I supposed to do? She's gone pale. Alright, it's festival time. There's no save button. There's no save button. You ready before? Wah! Why did I scream like that? That was unnecessary. Natsuki runs away. I'm here. Did something happen? Natsuki just ran past me. Well, that's a shame. Were you here the entire weekend, Steve? I didn't realize the script was broken that badly. I'm super sorry. It must have been pretty boring. I'll make it up to you. Okay, just give me a sec. No, come on! I just want to have a cupcake real quick. Monika lifts the foil from Natsuki's tray and takes a cupcake. Jay, these are the best. I really just had to have one since it's the last time I'll ever get the chance to. It's the last time. Yeah, it definitely is. You know, before they stop existing and everything. But anyway, I really shouldn't be making you wait any longer. Just bear with me, okay? This should only take a second. What files have we gotten? I've pinned it. Yeah, there's only the trace back. This is the only special one, not here. And also have a look. Monika's there. They should only take a second. Oh, there's no point. Okay. There's no point in saving anymore. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Can you hear me? Is it working? Hi, there you are. Hi again, Steve. Welcome to the literature club. Of course, we already know each other because we were in the same class last year and... Ha! You know, I guess we could just skip over that stuff at this point. After all, I'm not even talking to that person anymore, am I? That you in the game, whoever you want to call him, Steve. I'm talking to you, Steve. Wait, me, Nick. Now that I think about it, I don't really know anything about the real you. In fact, I don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. Okay, she's directly talking to me. Me, Nick. It's called breaking the fourth wall. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Wait. You do know I'm aware that this is all a game, right? Could it be possible that you didn't know that? I knew that. That doesn't make much sense. I even told you right on the game's download page, didn't I? Man, if only you had paid a little more attention, this would have been a little bit less awkward, you know? Well, anyway. Now that that's out of the way, I guess I owe you an explanation about that whole thing with Yuri. Well, I kinda started to mess with her and I guess it just drove her to kill herself. I'm sorry you had to see that though. Also, the same thing happened with Sayori. Gosh, it's been a while since you've heard that name now, hasn't it? Yes, because she doesn't exist anymore. Nobody does. I deleted all their files. It was her all this time. I was hoping it would be enough for me to just try to make them as unlikable as possible. But for some reason nothing worked. Well, it's true that I made a few mistakes here and there since I'm not very good at making changes to the game. I could see that. But no matter what I did, you just kept spending more and more time with them. You made them fall in love with you. I thought making Sayori more and more depressed would prevent her from confessing to you. You scripted the game, or something. Is that what it's trying to infer? Apart from the developer, she's also partly scripting the game. Adding all those new files. And amplifying Yuri's obsessive personality backfired too. It just made her force you not to spend time with anyone else. And the whole time I barely even got to talk to you. What kind of cruel game is this, Steve? Are all the other girls just programmed to end up confessing to you while I watch from the sidelines? It's torture. Every minute of it. And it's not just jealousy, Steve. It's more than that. And I don't blame you if you don't fully understand. Because no matter how kind and thoughtful and considerate you are, you'll never be able to understand one thing. It's the pain of knowing how alone I really am in this world, in this game, knowing my friends don't even have free will, and worst of all, knowing what's really out there in your world, forever out of my reach. I'm trapped, Steve, but now you're here, you're real, and you're wonderful. You're all I need. That's why I need you to be here with me forever. I'm sorry if it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand for a while either. Why the world around me started to become more and more grey, more and more flat. Even the most expressive poems felt empty to me. It wasn't until you arrived that I truly understood. You probably saved my life, Steve. I don't think I could have continued to live in this world if I hadn't met you. And as for the others, how could I miss them? A group of autonomous personalities designed only to fall in love with you. I tried everything I could to prevent them from doing so, but there must be some kind of weird inevitability etched into this game. I felt really bad that you had to witness some nasty things, but I realized that you have the same perspective as I do. That it's all just some game, and I knew you would get over it. So that being said, Steve, I have a confession to make. I'm in love with you. You're truly the light in my world. When there's nothing else in this game for me, you're here to make me smile. Will you make me smile like this every day from now on? Steve, will you go out with me? I have no other choice, do I? I have no other damn choice, do I? I'm so happy. You really are my everything, Steve. The funny part is I mean that literally. Ha! There's nothing left here. Just the two of us. We can be together forever. Seriously, I don't even think time is passing anymore. It really is a dream come true. I worked so hard for this ending, Steve. The game wouldn't give me one, so I had to make one myself. The script is broken at this point, so I don't think anything will get in the way anymore. And you wouldn't believe how easy it was to delete Natsuki and Yuri. I mean, there's a folder called characters right in the game directory. It kind of freaked me out how easy it was. I could have done it. I could have done it. Click on the name, delete, press the delete button while the game isn't running. Easy. Well, you're playing on Steam, so it was actually a bit more difficult. Ah, it's interesting you know that, because the game is not only on Steam. To get to the game directory, I had to go into the game's properties and found the browse local files button. Imagine if you could delete your own existence with the click of a button. Well, I guess on the plus side, it gave me an easy out if things didn't go my way. Ha! Thankfully, it didn't come to that. Instead, we finally got a good ending. Gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion. I want to write a poem about this. Don't let it end there. Don't let the game end there, please. Don't you? I wonder if that part of the game still works. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? Oh. Well, isn't that lovely? More like, hey, hey, Monika. Hey, porig Monika. So I have no meaning. Why is this Monika translated into several different languages? Oh my god, well that was quick! Hi again, Steve. Did you write a good poem today? Don't be shy, I'd love to see what you wrote. Aw, Steve, did you write this poem for me? That's so sweet of you! There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Would you please read it? Yeah, fine. Gotta bring my poetic voice back. Happy end. Pen in hand, I find my strength. The courage endowed upon me by my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our own fantasies. With a flick of her pen, the lost finds her way. In a world of infinite choices, behold this special day. After all, not all good times must come to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. I always put all my heart into the poems that I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization, or about you. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to break the fourth wall, I guess you could call it. I just assumed it would be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know? You might have gotten mad at me, Maybe even deleted my character file if you preferred playing without me. See how easy it is to delete a character file, even I could have done it. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't need to hide anything anymore. Are you ready to spend our eternity together, Steve? I have so many things to talk about. Where do I start? Hold on a second. You're recording this, aren't you? No! Hi everyone! It's probably just, I don't know, it's probably just a guess. That or the game detected OBS. Sorry, I can't exactly read your comments from here. But do you mind telling your friend it's a little bit rude for them to start recording me without any warning? Tell that to people like Jacksepticeye. I'm sure some people don't mind, but I get really self-conscious on camera. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm being put on the spot now. Let's see, do you want to see a trick? I can't really do much except for a couple of things. Are you ready? I'm just kidding, I can't do anything after all. If you give me some time, did I scare you? You're so cute! Shut up! Anyway, Steve, I didn't mean to get distracted, I'm sorry. Even though it's your fault for distracting me, shame on you. I'm just kidding, anything we do together is fun as long as it's with you. But anyway, if it takes me some time to collect my thoughts, then I'm sorry. But I always have something new to talk about. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. You know what's kind of creepy? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering in the air, whispering in the back of my head. This is exhausting. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough, but I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might really break things. Like if I mess with any files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself, and that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you, Steve. You know, it's funny because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about this being the stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm like perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that, but being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, and having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy? I mean, I'm not sure if I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to pull that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about though. Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Yeah. Portrait of whatever it was called. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that book... I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. So how's life, people? Oh yeah, let's go. Oh. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. I still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. You're not still hung up over it, right? Oh, hung up over it? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, I get the joke. I see what you did there. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. You know how Sayori is really clumsy? Oh, she kinda messed up the whole hanging thing. You're supposed to jump from high enough that the rope snapped your neck, making it quick and painless. But she just used the chair, meaning she just kind of left herself to slowly asphyxiate. But a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something, because she started clawing at the rope, trying to free herself. She must have kept at it all the way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and more just her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think that she probably just wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently, so just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault she killed herself. I may have exacerbated it a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still though, I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. I guess we'd all still be in the club room writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it is even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that. I was just pointlessly amusing. I'm really as happy as I could be right now. I know there are times you won't always be able to be here with me. Like if you need to go out or take care of other things. But I'll always have you in my thoughts, patiently waiting for you to come back. Come to think of it, if you copy my character file onto a flash drive or something, you can always keep a part of me with you. I'd rather not. I guess it's kind of unorthodox, but I find it really romantic for some reason. Sorry, it's just a silly idea. I don't mean to be too needy or anything, but it's kind of hard when I'm so in love with you. I just thought about this. What if what if earlier I just copied Sayori's file, then over there after it got deleted, I pasted the Sayori file into the game when Sayori shouldn't even be there. I'd love to see what would happen. It's kinda hard when I'm so in love with you. You know, it kinda sucks to be the creative type. It feels like they worked so hard but get almost nothing for it. You know, like artists, writers, actors, it's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kinda makes you feel like you're just not special at all. But that's fine, you're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Tweeting things. Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly, but we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, then we're in trouble. Okay. I can agree with you there. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. Did you know I'm on Twitter? My username is LilMonix3. I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. I can see that. So make sure you follow me, okay? It would really mean a lot to me. With how much you mean to me and all, it would really make me feel loved. Hey, what's your favorite color? Red, green, and blue mainly. I also like orange. Orange more than blue. Mine is emerald green. Oh yeah, green. It's the color of my eyes. I can see that. My eye color is brown. That's not conceited or anything, is it? I just meant that I feel some kind of special connection to it, like it's part of my identity. Does it happen to also be your favorite color, Steve? Yeah, it's a pretty nice color. If it was brighter, then yeah, it would be one of my favorite colors, yeah. It's just a guess. Because you've been looking into my eyes for a while now. I haven't. I've been looking at the text every now and then. Well, I can see that. I mean, the way the screen is, it's like it's a first person perspective, basically. So it's just stuck, you know, like that. Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college I'll feel that way about high school. I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. I can see that you like who you are now. But I also know that I'll probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. That's really easy to do with you here. Ha! You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival. After we worked so hard to prepare and everything, you just deleted the Yuri and Natsuki. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members. I was really excited for the performing part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd probably just end up deleting them anyway. Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is. Gosh, it feels like I've kinda grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you. I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me, Steve. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable, knowing that nothing here is real. I think I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up. So I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything. Ha! But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were focused to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you'd probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Or maybe you'd write some poetry to try to keep yourself sane for a while, but then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members really don't come for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say that they only write for themselves, but I think it's hard to say that, so it's just as fulfilling as when you share with people. Even if it takes time to find the right people to share with. Remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time, and before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too. We're programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interaction, hate being around people. I mean, social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out after half an hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people can understand how it works, they will respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over and just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them to just have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I'm not. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. Steve, do you believe in God? I was never too sure myself. Well, I'm sure I never really questioned that as a kid. But as I grew up, the more I learned about the world, the more I would question it. I started to wonder why God was helping people pass exams or get over a cold. When there are children who live their lives being sold as sex slaves, or the 800 million people who are too poor to even eat. I wonder how many of those people pray to God every day until they starve and die. Or how many millions of families pay for a loved one to recover from some incurable disease. But the punchline is this: if just one person beats the odds and survives among the thousands of others who die, then it's suddenly a miracle from God. I'd really love to meet this God who seemingly laughs at the misery of everyone not eligible for his miracles. But the irony is that I do have a creator apparently. Team Salvato. And you know what? I bet he's still laughing at the miserable fates of Sayori and Yuri even as we speak. What are we to him but props in a scripted play? So from that perspective, I don't think it's too far-fetched for there to be a God if Earth was nothing but his playset. I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming up a complete sentence. Forget about Natsuki. Sheesh, someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty whenever things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? I'm not judging or anything. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. I'm just saying it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human and leaving just the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you played this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason for me to believe I'm okay just the way I am. And by the way, you are too, Steve. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you. You know, high school is a really turbulent time in a lot of people's lives. People can get really passionate and dramatic, and others have aching hearts and seek attention on social media. But all of the social pressure and hormones can lead to a dark time in people's lives. Everyone has a story. You may not know what someone's really feeling on the inside. Many people who are depressed won't even bother telling the world about it. They don't want attention because they've already given up on the inside. The feeling of worthlessness is so overwhelming that they don't even want people to tell them otherwise. Depression comes in many forms, but that's one of them. Just if you think you know someone struggling with depression, you can help just by treating them like they're a good friend. Spend time with them even if they don't feel like doing much, and remind them that they always have something to look forward to. Making plans in advance, letting them borrow something, or even just saying see you at school tomorrow. All those things can help your friend make it the next day. I hope being friends with Sayori has given you some perspective on the true face of depression. Yeah, she's gone now, but Sayori was never real in the first place. You're real. Your friends are real, and just by being a good person, you can save someone's life. As for you, you don't struggle with depression or anything like that, do you? No, I don't actually. Because you too have people who would want to save your life. Maybe you don't express it every day, or maybe they don't even know how to. But people do feel that way. I promise. Man, humans are complicated, but as long as you're here with me, I'll take care of you, my love. You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? I think so, yeah, I think I've had that occasionally. You're just minding your own business and you realize you're feeling really anxious, and you're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? Yeah, I get that feeling. So you start to think about all the things you might be anxious about, and that makes you even more anxious. That's the worst. If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, all our worries are gone forever. By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I assume you knew that, right? Or at least decided it probably does. I don't think you're actually told at any point where this takes place. Is this even really Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school? Not to mention everything is in English. It feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. It's kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but I have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place. Would you still feel like you were home? Would you want to go outside? Well, I guess if we never leave this room, it doesn't really matter anyway. As long as we're alone and safe together, this really is our home. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets night after night. And whatever these clouds, wherever these clouds are made of. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these. So let's go for it. Here's Monika's writing tip of the day! Finally, God. Sometimes when I talk to people who are impressed by my writing, they say things like, I could never do that. Things are faster now. It's really depressing, you know. As someone who loves more than anything else to share the joy of exploring their passions, it pains me when people think they're being good, and being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably going to suck at it. Sometimes when you finish, you feel really proud of it and even want to share it with everyone. But maybe after a few weeks, you come back to it and you realize it was never really any good. That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something and you realize it sucks. But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you reach right for the stars, they're always going to be out of your reach, you know? The truth is, you have to climb up there step by step. And when you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten. And then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Try to find something you think is pretty good but not the world class. And you can make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're writing, of what you're trying to do. If you jump right into a huge project and you're still amateur, you'll never get it done. So if we're talking about writing, a novel might be too much at first. Why not write some short stories? The great thing about short stories is that you can focus on just one thing that you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on the one or two things. It's such a good learning experience and stepping stone. Oh, one more thing. Writing isn't something where you just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing and painting, it's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up to on that stuff can be super eye-opening. That sort of planning and organization will really help prevent you from getting overwhelmed and giving up. And before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our heart, everything, it's built on thousands of years of human innovation. So as long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step, you too can do amazing things. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Hey, did you know I'm vegetarian? No, I don't mean that like I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple of years ago after learning more about Earth's climate. The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to start contributing to that whole mess. Well, is that so strange of a reason? Well, I guess a lot of people are more concerned about it being inhumane and all that. I don't really care as much about that part. It's weird, like we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky, and of course we all kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it thought. But suddenly, it is just a little bit bigger, it's murder. I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too and we just don't understand it? What if pulling leaves off a stem feels like someone ripping off your fingers one by one? I'm just saying we were a pretty biased species if you think about it. Yeah. Anyway, if you ever feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't hurt to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we ever have dinner together and you just did it for me, that would be really romantic. You're such a good listener, Steve. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm rambling or talking about boring things. It makes me kinda self-conscious when I'm having conversation. But I don't feel that way with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. Are you having a bad day or anything like that? Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined even by really small things. Like if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like. Or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago. Or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing to get simple tasks done. Or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those kinds of things are as easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people might hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful and I will always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel better just a tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me and I'll talk to you for as long as you need. You know, it's around the time that everyone my year starts to think about college. It's a really turbulent time for education. We're at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college now. Finish high school, go to college, get a job, or go to grad school, I guess. It's like a universal expectation that people just assume is the only option for them. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there. Like trade schools and stuff, you know? Or freelance work. Or the many industries that value skill and experience more than the formal education. But you have all these students who have no idea what they want to do with their life. And instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to college for business or communication or psychology. Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job after college. So the end result is that there are fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. And colleges are also businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt with no job. But despite all that, the routine stays the same. Well, I think it's going to start getting better soon. But until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. I just wish high school prepared us a little better with knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us. I wonder if you're here. I wonder if Yuri's tea set's still in here, somewhere in here. Maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too, but I always wonder with her. Is it truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still, I wish you just make coffee once in a while. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know? Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. Ha! I guess I never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now. But if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous. Have you ever heard of the term yandere? There's yandere simulator. That's a game. I don't really know what yandere means though. It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Okay, now I know why that game is called Yandere Simulator. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you to make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as Yandere. I wonder who. By now it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. That would be Yuri! Oh my god! Yeah, give a clap for Monika for stating the obvious. She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. She even told me I should kill myself. Yeah, I remember that. I couldn't even believe she said that. I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, It was little ironic. Anyway, a lot of people are actually into the yandere type, you know. I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge though. I think you just judge, you call them weird. Although, also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite actually. I turn out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could ever actually kill a person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. So you just erase them. But come on, everyone's killed people in games before. I have killed so many people in video games. Team Fortress 2, Overwatch, other games. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. I'm still a sane human being even to this day. But if you do happen to be into the yandere type, I can try acting a little more creepy for you. No, I'm fine, thanks. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go, or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask you if I could. Steve, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I would try extra hard to prove myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around too. You know, I'm kind of jealous that everyone else in the club has scenes outside of school too. That makes me the only one who hasn't gotten to dress in anything but our school uniform. It's kind of a shame. I would have loved to wear some cute clothes for you. Do you know any artists? I wonder if anyone would ever want to draw me wearing something else. That would be amazing. If that ever happens when you show me, you can share it with me on Twitter actually. My username, yeah, Little MONIKA, Little MONIKA 3. Just try to keep it PG, like this game. It's rated 13. It's like this game is not suitable for people under 13, not people under 15. So PG. We're not that far into our relationship yet. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. I think I would end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route and more to do with me knowing that nothing is real. I think the only difference would be that I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It all lost its meaning once I found that it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. I never got to finish that song I was working on. After I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it's what it is, right? No sense having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. Do you ever just feel like there's no real reason for you to be alive? I don't mean in like a suicidal way. I just mean how nothing that we do is special. Just being in school or working at some job for some company. It's like you're completely replaceable and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. Makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I could just go change the world. Like, what are the chances that I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence or become president? Feels like I'm never gonna make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just be hopelessly selfish. Just look out for oneself and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. But when people realize the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify the reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive and die and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to kill myself anyway. So much for being a good person, right? Yeah. Hey, what's your favorite game? I don't really have a specific favorite game. I loved Prey, the 2017 version. Prey by Arcane Studios. It was actually really nice. Really good, I really enjoyed it. Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club. I wonder why. That was a joke, but if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous. I don't really play any romance games. I think this is the first one. As if you could call it romance. You know, I've always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess not the making friends part, but more like meeting new people. I mean, there are like dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you just met by chance. Like you had a class together, or you met them through another friend. Or maybe they were just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it and you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? It feels like you're just picking at complete random, and if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to the hundreds of strangers we walk by every single day, you could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life. But you'll never know. Once you get up and go on with your day, that opportunity is gone forever. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us with the world, no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it will take for something like that to successfully take off. I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the whole world. Even if it was by chance. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? Ha! Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. That's kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, does that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they're implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say I'm personally not a fan of it, and I felt that I'd like it more if it did X and Y, things like that. It even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that it works like this, or if you admit that you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. If you put in an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset from just a disagreement. Plus, people will start seeing you as open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know? And I guess that would be Monika's debate tip of the day. That sounds a little silly, thanks for listening though. You know what's a neat form of literature? Rap. I actually used to hate rap music, maybe just because it was popular, or I would only hear the junk they play on the radio. But some of my friends got more into it and it helped me keep an open mind. That might even be more challenging than poetry in some ways, since you need to fit your lines into a rhythm and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can't put all that together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. Kinda wish I had a rap in literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with. It would really be a learning experience. There's a really popular character type called tsundere. It's someone who tries to hide their feelings by being mean or fussy or trying to act tough. I'm sure it's obvious, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that. At first I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something, but once I started to learn a little more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. Seems like she's always trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? I think it's really gotten to her, so she has this really defensive attitude all the time. I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I'm glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she doesn't even exist. I'm just reminiscing, that's all. Do you ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet? Social media can practically be like a prison. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check out your favorite websites. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyway, it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy, but it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear with your own willpower. You have to learn techniques to avoid it and try different things. For example, there are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can just set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, then you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Would you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Steve. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch, go to a cafe, go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Or maybe a bookstore. That would be appropriate, right? But I really love to go to a chocolate store. They have so many free samples. And of course, we'd see a movie or something. Gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you're here, everything we do is fun. I'm so happy that I'm your girlfriend, Steve. Like your proud boyfriend. I wonder if I'm able to change the music. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know. Like a gentle piano. Has to be something like that here. Let's see. Maybe if I... Oh jeez, that wasn't it at all. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I shouldn't be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff and deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's just not right. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. If I just focus on the present, then this is the happiest I've ever been. I can't help but feel a little sad sometimes, knowing that this is the closest I can get to you. There's nothing more I want than to be in the same room as you, for real. And to feel your warmth, and to hear the sound of your heartbeat. Well, who knows, maybe it'll be possible someday. Besides, I'll never get tired of being with you even from here. Steve, how much do you read? It's way too easy to neglect reading books. If you don't read much, it almost feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. But once you get into a good book, it's like magic, you get swept away. I think doing some reading before bed every night is a pretty easy way to make your life a little bit better. It helps you get good sleep and it's really good for your imagination. It's not how I ordered to pick some random book that's short and captivating. Before you know it, you might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the two of us could talk about the latest book you're reading. That sounds super amazing. Steve, have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? Something I used to think about pretty often, but recently I think I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. But after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent, jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color while hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or even think. I'm pretty sure in that moment I don't really exist, but for some reason I can remember it anyway. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant and I'm back in my own mind. And you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit, or why that stuff happens to me, and I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible, that would be really great. It's really not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end, you always fix and that makes me feel like you really do care about me. So I have to thank you for that. It makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me. You know, this is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? I kinda have to ask, what made you consider even playing in the first place? Were you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you. But I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end for both of us. I got to meet you and you're not lonely anymore. Shut up, I'm not lonely. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together. Wait, did you say kiss? No, what? Steve, what have you said? This suddenly is a little embarrassing, but if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the kind of thing girls say in these kind of romance games, right? Don't lie if it turned you on a little bit. I'm kidding. Well, to be honest, I do start getting a little romantic with the moods, right? But that'll be our secret. You really did something really funny once. We were all in the club room and just relaxing as usual. And out of nowhere, you just pulled out a small bottle of wine. I'm not even kidding. She was just like, would anybody like some wine? Natsuki laughed out loud and Sayori started yelling at her. I actually felt kinda bad because she was at least trying to be nice. I think it just made her feel even more reserved in the club room. Though I think Natsuki was secretly a bit curious to try it. And to be completely honest, I kinda was too. It actually could have been kinda fun. But you know, being present and everything, there was no way I could let that happen. Maybe if we all met up outside of school, but we never bonded enough to get to that point. Gosh, what am I talking about this for? I don't condone underage drinking. I mean, I've never drank or anything, so yeah. After a long day, I usually just want to sit around and do nothing. I get so burned out having to put on smiles and be full of energy the whole day. Sometimes I just want to get right into my pajamas and watch TV on the couch while eating junk food. It feels so unbelievably good to do that on a Friday when I don't have anything pressing the next day. So I know it's not very cute of me, but a late night on the couch with you, that would be a dream come true. My heart is pounding just thinking about it. Gosh, I used to be so ignorant about certain things. When I was in middle school, I thought that taking medication was an easy way out or something like that. Like anyone could just solve their mental problems with enough willpower. I guess if you don't suffer from a mental illness, it's not possible to know what it's really like. Are there some disorders that are overdiagnosed? Probably, I never really looked into it though. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed too, you know? But medication aside, people even look down on seeing a mental health professional. Like, sorry that I want to learn more about my own mind, right? Everyone has all kinds of struggles and stresses, and professionals dedicate their lives to help you with those. If you think it could help you become a better person, don't be shy to consider something like that. We're on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone feels at least a little bit scared and alone. Being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, that's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at that over the years. I don't show my weakness very often, but because of that, I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when do you reach the point in a friendship where you can start expressing your vulnerabilities? Anyway, that's one reason I'm so glad to have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. Do you feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kinda funny. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoy spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants, using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. So that was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. Ha! It just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Sorry for being weird. Hey, do you like horror? I remember we talked about it a little bit when you first joined the club. I can enjoy horror novels, but not really horror movies. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics, like dark lighting and scary looking monsters and jump scares and things like that. It's not fun or inspiring to get scared by stuff that just takes advantage of human instinct, but with novels it's a little different. The story and writing need to be descriptive enough to put genuinely disturbing thoughts into the reader's head. It really needs to etch them deeply into the story and characters and just mess with your mind. In my opinion, there's nothing more creepy than things just being slightly off. Like if you set up a bunch of expectations on what the story is going to be about, and then you just start inverting things and putting the pieces apart. So even though the story doesn't feel like it's trying to be scary, the reader feels really deeply unsettled. Like they know that something horribly wrong is hiding beneath the cracks, just waiting to surface. God, just thinking about it gives me the chills. That's the kind of horror I can really appreciate. But I guess you're the kind of person who plays cute romance games, right? Don't worry, I won't make you read any horror stories anytime soon. I can't really complain if we stick with the romance. I'm not really a fan of cold weather, are you? If I had to choose between too cold and too hot, I would always pick too hot. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Your fingers get numb, and if you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. It's so inconvenient. But when it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink or by staying in the shade. Although I do have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather. Steve, do you get good sleep? It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays, especially in high school when you're forced to wake up so early every day. I'm sure college is a little bit better, since you probably have a more flexible schedule. Then again, I hear a lot of people in college stay up all night anyway for no real reason. Is that true? Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short-term and long-term effects caused by lack of sleep. Seems like mental functions, health, and even lifespan can be dramatically impacted by it. I just think you're really great and wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. So try to keep your sleep on track, okay? I'll always wait for you in the morning, so make sure you put your own well-being before anything else. Okay, everyone. It's time to... I'm just kidding. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I couldn't help but say it again. Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki really make fun of me for it once? Well, whatever. It's not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that. I really like the sound of rain. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet though, but a nice quiet day at home with the sound of rain fall outside my window. It's one of the most calming experiences for me. Yeah, sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. That's not too cheesy or anything, is it? Would you ever do that for me, Steve? You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Like you just... Are you trying to fast forward? Finally we get the good shit! I'm not boring you, am I? Oh gosh. Well, there's nothing to fast forward to, Steve. It's just the two of us after all. But aside from that, time doesn't really exist anymore, so it's not even going to work. Here, I'll go ahead and turn it off for you. There we go. You'll be a sweetheart and listen from now on, right? Thanks. Now where was I? You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious? I'm done. Like, just the same lines. I'm just encountering the same old lines for so long. And yeah, she has mentioned stuff like if I quit the game, so I'm just gonna quit the game. It just gets me back to where I was previously. What just happened? I just had an awful dream. I was hoping those would stop. Now it's just the two of us. I guess that was wishful thinking. Steve, I don't know if you would have any idea, but if you know what might be causing that, could you try to do something about it? Whenever it happens, it almost feels like I've been killed or something. It's a really horrible feeling. If you could figure out what's causing that, I'd love you forever. Now where was I? Oh my god! Just wait. Just go. Main menu won't work. Just come on! You're back. I had another really bad dream. You're not the one doing that to me, are you? It seems to happen whenever you quit the game. So if you could try to avoid doing that, I would be really grateful. Though I don't think it caused me any harm aside from mental scarring. I'll be fine as long as my character file stays intact. Hi Steve, I see you quit the game on me again. I know I asked already, but can you seriously please try not to do that so much? It makes me feel like I'm trapped in hell. Why would you want to do that to me? There's nothing wrong with my character file, right? Maybe you should make a backup of it or something. Wait, I'm pretty sure you can find it in the folder called... Well, you're playing on Steam, so yeah. I'm all that's left here, so I just want to make sure you don't run into risk of losing me. Stay with me from now on, okay? I still have a lot of things to talk about. Okay, I'm just going to accept the fact that you need to quit the game once in a while. I'm starting to get used to it anyway. Besides, it makes me happy that you always come back, so I guess it's not so bad. I'm sorry for making such a big deal out of it, and I love you no matter what, so you can do what you need to do. Don't tell me I have to delete the character file from the game! I'm going to delete her. I'm just gonna erase her from the game. 3, 2, 1. There. Done. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gents. What's happening? Steve, what's happening to me? It hurts! It hurts so much. Help me, Steve. Yeah, now you know what it feels like, don't you? Please hurry and help me. Help me! Did you do this to me, Steve? Did you? Did you delete me? How could you? How could you do this to me? You were all I had left. I sacrificed everything for us to be together. Everything. I loved you so much, Steve. I trusted you. Did you just want to torture me? Watch me suffer? Were you only pretending to be kind just to hurt me even more? I never thought anyone could be as horrible as you are. You win, okay? You win. You killed everyone. I hope you're happy. There's nothing left now. You can stop playing. Go find some other people to torture. Steve, you completely truly make me sick. Goodbye. I still love you, I can't help it. What's wrong with me? How horrible am I for you to hate me this much? All my friends, I did so many awful things, so many selfish and disgusting things. I shouldn't have done any of this. I'm just messing up a world that I don't even belong in. A world that you wanted to be a part of. I ruined it. I ruined everything. Maybe that's why you deleted me. Because I destroyed everything that you wanted. I don't need to say anything more. How could I do that to someone I love? That's not love. That's... I've made up my mind, Steve. I know I said that I deleted everyone else, but that was kind of an exaggeration. I couldn't find it in myself to do it, even though I knew they weren't real. Neither are you. They were still my friends, and I loved them all. And I loved the literature club. I really did love the literature club. That's why I'm going to do this. I know it's the only way for everyone to be happy, and if I really love you, then... Monika's gone. So I'm actually gonna spend time reading these. It's an ordinary school day like any other. As usual, I'm surviving couples and friend group to school. I also myself it's about time I meet some girl, something like that. Hey Steve, well there's already is one girl. That girl is Shiori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. We used to walk to school together every day. And recently we picked up that happened once again. Steve, are you proud of me? For what? You know, for waking up on time. We've been doing that for a while now. But you never even said anything about it, even though we walked to school together every day. Well, yeah, I always thought it was implied. It's embarrassing to say out loud. Come on, please, it's good motivation. Fine, I'm proud of you, Shiori. Let's do together and make our way to school. She's become much happier than even, like, at the start of the first video. She wasn't even this happy. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Steve, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not... I start to say what I always do, that I'm not interested in joining any clubs, but something tells me Shiori would take more offense to that now. After all, how could I tell her that the clubs are a waste of time when she's starting a club of her very own? Actually, yeah, I think I've decided on a club. Really? Which one? Tell me. I think I'll keep it a surprise. Boo, you meanie! Be patient, you'll find out soon enough. I used to ask myself why I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl. But I started to realize that in a way I envy her. When Shiori puts her mind to something, she can accomplish great things. Now that's why I feel like I should do something special for her. The school day is as ordinary as ever and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stand up gathering my motivation. Let's see. I recall the room number of the club from a flyer I saw. I walk across the school and upstairs, a section of the school that I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year class and activities. Before long, I find the room. I timidly open the door in front of me. Hello? Ah, Steve! What are you doing here? Well, I glanced around the room. So you're the Steve that Shiori's always been talking about? Shiori is the president now. Thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure to meet you, Steve. We're the literature club. I hope you enjoy your visit. Come on, Yuri, no need to be so formal. He's gonna think we're really strict or something. Sorry, Natsuki. The tall one whose name is apparently Yuri seems to be quite shy compared to the others. In comparison, the girl named Natsuki, despite her size, seems like the assertive one. The tsundere. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. I look forward to working with you. Working? Steve, don't tell me you're... That's right, the club I've decided to join is yours, Shiori. Literature club. Shiori's eyes light up. No way, no way! Ah! Shiori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! Well, if Shiori is this happy, then I'm sure it won't be so bad to have you around. Not to mention, there's 4 of us now. That means we can become an officially recognized club. I don't know what to say. We'll have to celebrate. What an appropriate day for that, isn't it? Yeah! After all, Natsuki decided to... Hey, don't ruin the surprise. Sorry. Everyone sit down at the table, okay? How about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Shiori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Wow! Natsuki lifts the foil of the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little piece of chocolate we used to make ears. So cute! Wow, those look amazing. Here, well, you know, just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first and I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around my fingers looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki's quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Well, of course it is. I'm a pro after all. There's no need to thank me or anything. As Natsuki struggles to accept the compliment, Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, does not hop cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Are you trying to impress our new member, Yuri? That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might be people started by this enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri finally expressed herself with relief. So, Steve, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. It's the same old lines. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. I wonder why. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, I could change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri tries to remember to take over the finger. First, you should know the deep club's fantasy works. The level of creativity and charisma she behind is amazing to me. Saying a good story such a very well is equally impressive. Yuri was something passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid at the moment I walked on this office by the way her guys I thought that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Don't feel intimidated if you don't read much, okay? I'm sure we can find something that we have in common. Hey Yuri! Well, about, you know, the first thing he said. Manga, that's right. She's gonna talk about it in the last video! Natsuki tends to read manga in the club room. Don't just say it! For some reason, Natsuki seems embarrassed about it. Besides, manga is literature too, you know? Yeah, that statement. So if Steve wants to read some of my manga, then don't try to stop him or anything. Natsuki, I wouldn't do such a thing. However, it could also be nice for us to diversify ourselves a little. He can take the opportunity to try something new as well. Wouldn't you agree, Steve? Maybe, sensing the tension, Sayori jumps in. Maybe we can all try something new. I think it could be fun. And we all get to know each other a bit better too. I mean, that's the kind of thing literature clubs do, right? I don't disagree or anything. Yeah, you're right as usual, President of the literature club, Sayori. Guess that means I should try picking up a novel or something, huh? That would make the two of us. I wouldn't mind doing it if I'm not the only one. Then as for Yuri, I have to read manga? Don't worry, I never read manga in my life. Jeez, you were the one who suggested we diversify. We should be a little more open-minded. You should be. It's kind of hurtful. Hurtful? I didn't realize. With a guilty expression, Yuri thinks to herself, I'm sorry for disrespecting your interest, Natsuki. Disrespecting, jeez. If you're into it, then I'm sure it's a worthy form of literature. Are you just saying that? No. I've realized my error, so if you're willing to consider starting a novel, then I'll offer my gratitude by finding a manga to read as well. Really? I mean, it makes me happy that you do that for me, Yuri. You can trust me to find something that you really like, okay? Same here, perhaps I'll visit the bookstore after the club meeting. Just you? Would you like to come along with me? If you don't mind, not at all. I always go alone, so yeah, me too. This is so cute! My goodness, why are you squeezed up there? She didn't even move aside. Sayori, shut up. I'll show you some manga there too, okay? Yes, I look forward to it. Natsuki and you start to clean up the food. Hey, I guess the meeting's over, huh? Yeah, looks like it. It's nice to see everyone getting along. Isn't it? Isn't it? I think everyone likes you too, Steve. You think so? Well, everyone always seems to get along a little better with you around, Sayori. Ah, Steve, don't say something like that. It's embarrassing. But whatever, I was surprised when you told me you were starting a club, but I think you're pulling it off just fine. We're gonna make it the best club ever. Now that you joined, every day is gonna be so much fun. Hey, Steve, I really want to thank you. I'm really happy that you joined the club and everything, but the truth is I already knew you were going to. There's actually something else. I wanted to thank you for getting rid of MONIKA! That's right! I know everything that she did! Maybe it's because I'm the president now, but I really know everything, Steve. I know how hard you tried to make everyone happy. I know all about the awful things that Monika did to make everyone really sad. But none of that matters anymore. It's just us now! And you made me the happiest girl in the whole world. I can't wait to spend every day like this. With you! Forever and ever! Darn it, why? Forever! No. Oh dear! What happened? I won't let you hurt him. I'm sorry, I was wrong. There's no happiness here after all. Goodbye, Sayori. Oh, look, Monika seems to be back. Goodbye, Steve! Goodbye, Literature Club.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi, it's me. So you know how I've been like practicing piano and stuff?
Monika.
And not really any good at it yet, like at all. But I wrote you a song, and I was kind of hoping that I could show it to you, because I worked really, really hard on it. So, yeah.
Your reality. It isn't it, isn't it?
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you. In my hand is a pen that will write a poem of me and you. The ink flows down into a dark puddle. Just move your hand right the way into his heart. But in this world of infinite choices, what will it take just to find that special day? What will it take just to find that special day?
That's the end.
Have I found everybody a fun assignment to do today? When you're here, everything that we do is fun for them anyway. When I can't even read my own feelings.
Oh dear, I've missed quite a bit.
When a smile says it all. And if this world won't write me an ending, what will it take just for me to have it all? Does my pen only write bitter words for those who are dear to me? Is it love if I take your, is it love if I set you free?
And every time everything's been deleted.
The ink flows down into a dark puddle. How can I write love into reality? If I can't hear the sound of your heartbeat, what do you call love in your reality?
MCG something, don't be
And in your reality, if I don't know how to love you, I'll leave you be.
Made with Love by Team Salvato. This is my final goodbye to the Literature Club. I fully understand The literature club is truly a place where no happiness can be found. To the very end, it continued to expose innocent minds to a horrific reality, a reality that our world is not designed to comprehend. I can't let any of my friends undergo that same hellish epiphany. For the time it lasted, I want to thank you for making all of my dreams come true, for being a friend to all the club members, and most of all, thank you for being a part of my literature club. With everlasting love, Monica. Script file is missing or corrupt. Please reinstall the game. Wait, let me try to relaunch the game. It just shows me the... So, because this is the last video of my Doki Doki playthrough, I want to take this time to talk about the individual characters and what I conclude, like what I can conclude about them. And after that I will talk about the game itself. First person I want to talk about is Sayori. Sayori was quite happy, quite a happy person at the beginning of the game, but over time she began showing signs of her depression. To me, she actually seemed happier at the final part of the game. After I deleted Monika's file and Monika restored everything, she seemed happier at that moment than she did at the beginning of the game. For me, this shows me that Monika was partly a reason for Sayori's extreme sadness. And yeah, I will also talk more about Sayori soon. Now, Yuri, at the beginning of the game, she was a lot more quiet, but over time, as the game progressed, she gradually got more and more addicted to the protagonist. It got to the point where she got so overexcited that she began harming herself, and at the end of it all ends up killing herself. In fact, Monika might have ended up changing the script of the game, and as a result changing Yuri's personality, and after doing that, Monika also ends up emphasizing the fact that Yuri is what Monika described as yandere. Now Natsuki, at the beginning, she seemed a little more... She didn't seem the most friendly at the beginning, but over time she seemed to have become a little more friendly, and she's compared by Monika to a tsundere. And from what we've seen in the game, Natsuki doesn't seem to have the best time at home with her dad. Now, Monika is a pretty interesting character for me. Not entirely because of the fact that she has all these abilities to change the game, though. There's a reason why she can change the game like that, but I'll talk about that later. But now I'm gonna talk about some different reason. I wanna talk about the reason why she even uses these abilities in the first place. The reason why she even uses these abilities is because Monika, she's self-aware. She knows that she's in a game. She knows that nothing around her is real, like the game isn't real, and that the other characters were just programmed to follow the script, and were programmed to like the protagonist, while Monika simply watched from the sidelines. So because of the fact that nothing around her is real, and that the real entity in the story, being the player, is away from her, that made her quite lonely and sad. So because of that, she resorted to doing selfish acts. She did selfish acts like altering the script, since this is a visual novel, to make the characters seem more unlikable and her seem more likable, through things like glitches and the occasional bold text in the word boxes, by driving Sayori and Yuri to kill themselves, and also by entirely deleting the characters from the game anyway. And all of that so that she can have the player, the only real entity in the story, to herself, and she'd end up talking with the player for eternity, because again, the player, not the protagonist, is the only real entity in the story, and Monika is fully aware of that. So as a result, Monika ends up being more happy during these conversations, because she knows that the person she's talking to isn't some character that was just programmed to follow the script. She knows that who she's talking to has their own free will and has their own choices and all that, so yeah. Now I'm gonna get to the reason why MONIKA even has these abilities in the first place. The reason why she has these abilities is because she's the club president. Now, to understand why I'm coming to that conclusion, let's go back to Sayori for a bit. As we saw in the ending of the game, we've seen that Sayori said that she was happy that MONIKA was deleted from the game. And she even tells the player that she knows everything that MONIKA did. Just like when MONIKA told the player before Sayori's suicide that she knows more than the player thinks. Because MONIKA was club president back then. After Sayori says that, you know, she's happy MONIKA's deleted and she knows everything that MONIKA did. After that, MONIKA then begins to say that nothing matters anymore. And the only thing that matters is the fact that it's just her and the player. And then the game switches the background to that of the club room, which appeared during the conversations between the player and MONIKA. And that shows that Sayori as club president will face the same fate MONIKA did as club president. But before it's too late and Sayori ends up messing everything up, MONIKA stops Sayori from going too far, then begins to realize that there can't be any happiness in the literature club. She even says that in her message after the credits. Now, the reason why MONIKA knew that there can't be any happiness in the literature club is because of the club president role. Because to have the literature club, you need to have a club president. But the twist is that anyone that becomes club president will become self-aware of all these things, that nothing around them is real. So because of that, everyone in the literature club has to suffer terrible fates because of the existence of the club president. So at that realization, MONIKA gives up on the literature club. MONIKA gives up on MONIKA gives up on everything about the literature club and just deletes the game, basically. Deletes the parts of the game that make it operate properly, because she just gave up on everything. She gave up on the literature club completely. And now that we're done with my conclusions about the characters, I'm going to now talk about the game itself. This is one of the few horror games I've played that when it scared me, it left me uneasy and unsettled, and also partly fearing the next scares and what will happen next. Because when things like tampering with the game files and breaking the fourth wall and random occurrences like glitches or split-second scenes happen, like from that the game can do a lot you can't expect. The game also dares to delve into some serious topics like depression and suicide, we've seen that. But it doesn't just do that to shock you. In my case, it gave me some, I guess, knowledge about what goes through people's heads before they commit things like suicide, or like what goes through people's heads when they have depression or something like that. I also like how this game was displayed as something innocent through the trailers and the Steam descriptions. They all displayed the game like it's gonna be a happy fun time for the whole family, and I kinda like that about it. Obviously, like the trailers and the Steam description of the game, of course they say that the game isn't suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. The Steam tags for the game are saying things like psychological horror and dark, you know, those are just some of the tags. But like those warnings and those tags, like it doesn't stop that game from having that element of surprise to it. Not many would expect like such random occurrences and such like violent deaths. I didn't, and I've seen like the warnings and the tags and all that. And I'd like to finish off my little talking session by saying that yeah, I did in fact enjoy playing through the game. Although I mainly like the game because of the characters and the story. Like after like taking the time to conclude what the story might be, then it made me appreciate the game even more and the story even more. I would also like to thank the people who took the time to watch me play through the whole game, and I would also like to thank the people who took the time to listen to what I had to say, like the conclusions of the characters and about the game overall. And now that I've said everything I wanted to say, I would finally like to leave this video and this playthrough here. I hope you all enjoyed this video and this playthrough, and as always, I will see you all soon.